Hello everyone, welcome to Witch Hollow Homestead. Today I am going to share a new recipe with all of you that I just created about a month ago, and I've been testing it to get it just right. Today I will be showing you how to turn these black beans into gluten-free, high-protein brownies. Before we begin, here are the ingredients, along with the steps for today's recipe. While we're prepping our brownie batter, I do have the oven preheating at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to begin by opening one jar of black beans. These are black beans that I canned back in December. You can also use one 15-ounce can of black beans for this recipe. I'm going to give them a good rinse. Once the black beans are rinsed and drained, we're going to add these to the food processor. Adding in a half a cup of rolled oats, a half a cup of peanut butter. We're going to be adding 4 medium to large figs into the food processor. I like to use this one specific brand because they're very soft. Some figs are kind of dry and hard, and they won't grind up as nicely into these brownies. The other thing too is that you could use dates instead of figs. Before you add the figs, just make sure that you take the hard stem off the top. A quarter of a cup of maple syrup. And I want to point out these brownies are not super sweet, which is the way we like them. If you like your brownies sweeter, you can add a little bit more maple syrup. I am sorry here, my camera decided to go out of focus at the end, and I'm not too sure why. So it is blurry. Please forgive me for that. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla, half a cup of cocoa powder or cacao powder, whichever you prefer. You could also do carob powder. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. If you used unsalted peanut butter, you're going to need to add a half a teaspoon of salt to the recipe. That's all the ingredients, and now we're going to grind it up. I want to make a note here that depending on your peanut butter and the size of your figs, your batter might be a bit too thick. As you can see here, mine's lumping up. So that is why in the ingredient listing, I put a quarter of a cup of milk as optional, because you may need to add a little bit of milk to moisten your batter. It's now grinding up perfectly, and this is the consistency that you are looking for with the batter. If it's a little looser, that's okay as well. We're going to grab an 8x8 baking dish and take a piece of parchment and crinkle it up so that it will easily bend and mold to the shape of the dish. You do have an option here to not use parchment paper if you're using a silicone baking dish, or if you wanted to use a little bit of coconut oil in the dish instead. I just like to not add additional oil if I can. And when I use the parchment paper, it makes cleanup so quick and easy that I can just pull them out of the dish, wash the dish out quickly, dry it, and put it away. Your call here. I want to make sure that I get the batter distributed evenly into my dish. So what I like to do is take a small bowl with a little bit of water, dampen my fingers, and then press the batter out to the ends of the dish. Option here to add walnuts into your brownies. I'm funny, I really prefer brownies without nuts. However, 2 things. 1, these brownies taste really good with walnuts in them. And 2, we're trying to eat more walnuts because they're high in omega-3s. And we are trying to make sure that we definitely get enough omega-3s in a day. I like to crumble up the walnuts into smaller pieces. And then the last thing I'll do is press them down into the batter so that they stick in a little bit and they're just not sitting on the surface. Now it's time to get these baking. I'm going to bake these for 35 to 40 minutes. And I'll know they're done when a toothpick comes out mostly clean. And I say mostly because when you put figs and dates in, it'll always be just a little soft. It's been 35 minutes and these are ready. The last step is optional as well. And what I like to do is just take a few chocolate chips and sprinkle them on the top and press them just a little bit because they'll melt on top of the brownie and then stick to them. Let the brownies sit in the glass dish for 10 minutes and then you can remove them and put them on a cooling rack to let them cool completely. It's been a couple hours and they are cooled. We're ready to cut into them and enjoy. Thank you so much for joining me today at Witch Hollow Homestead. I hope you found this video helpful and inspiring. If you tried making black bean brownies before, let me know in the comments how they turn out and what ingredients do you like to put in your brownies. Happy homesteading!